Hello, welcome back to my bathroom reno series. This is part 3. If you haven't seen the other 2 parts, feel free to go back and check them out so you can see all the progress and how we got to where we are now. Jack and I are installing the shower base here, so we were just checking it out, making sure everything was all level and in position before we put on the rest of the adhesive here. And you see once it goes down, Jack starts working on the drain and lining stuff up and measuring what he needs for the drain plug and everything to install correctly. We ended up having to remove the drain after it was threaded in. The top part is threaded clockwise and the bottom part underneath, which we actually had to pull back out and adjust, was counterclockwise. So after we had glued and installed it and realised we had to pull it back out, we ended up crawling back under the house and just readjusting things and moving things around. And yeah, so lesson from that is basically just do it right the first time so you don't have to get back under the house and mess around with drain pipes and stuff. None of it's on video, but yeah, it ended up all going pretty smooth after that, and the shower drain got installed. I'm just putting silicone around the base as well. You do it around the base before you install this splashback. So now is another day, and we're doing the splashback install. It still has the protective film on at this point, all the way up until we're done with painting. You can see that there's like lots of dark chunks of like plastic coming off as I cut. It's because I blunted my blade. I actually had to cut the shower wall that was built out and through the villa board, so cement sheeting, and I used the same blade I was using just then to cut that piece. And yeah, it was just dead blunt, but it was $100 blade, so I didn't really want to go buy another one just yet. I was just trying to work with the blunt blade. I end up later on going to buy another one. I found one for $80, the same blade, just $80. So the cuts after that travel really smooth. Here I'm just spacing out my board without realizing I haven't cut my notch in the shower base yet for that splashback to sit on the ground. So I'm marking out the brass outlet there. You can see that green dot to drill it out. And then I realize, oh shit, I have to cut this notch out of the corner here. So it's going to sit lower. So I have to redo the brass hole, which it's all done in that take there. It's all ready to go. A little bit more has to come off the edge, so I bring it back outside. Still not perfect, so I'm going to do that one more time. Just measure up the other board that's going in the corner there before I get started. And using that piece of wood as a guide just to make sure I have a nice straight edge. Still using the blunt blade here. You see my mate Sammy walking in the background there. He helped me install this glass. So after, well, the glass and the clips. The clips was the hard part. I couldn't hold the glass still and put those little shower clips in, so Sammy came over and helped me do all that. So this is the next day, and I'm just removing the glass so I can get ready to do the walls, prep the walls for paint. More silicone. This silicone got replaced with paint over silicone. We wanted to match the wall paint to the splashback paint, and we didn't want these white lines in between different materials. Looking at it now, like it looks alright, and it probably would have looked alright with white silicone still there. So this silicone was a waste of effort and a waste of money. We end up pulling most of this back off and replacing it with paint on silicone. So top and bottom were sealed as well between the sheets and on the edges between the trim. And like I said, the plastic protective coating is still on these splashback pieces, so it's okay if the silicone sort of spreads spreads out a bit, it'll just stick to the protective film and come off later. Just removing some of the excess membrane here because it'll stand out when we paint. It's quite thick when it goes on, it's like almost a mil thick, I guess, which in painting surfaces is like going to make it look rough. So I'm just removing as much as I can, or smoothing it out with a little knife. I go back over and sand every surface later on. Just taping off the edges because all these edges were open for silicone to go on. So really just making sure I'm not going to splash any paint on. I'm sure it would have like scraped off easy enough. It's better just to cover the surfaces and be sure. This is polyfill, which is like plaster, I guess. Just trying to smooth out the wall as much as I can, so fill in any little voids and crevices and whatever I can find in the wall surface all the way around. Next day after it's dried out, or a few days later because it does take a little while to dry out, so especially like thicker areas they take a few days to dry out. So just sanding it all, blending all the surfaces together for a nice smooth finish with the paint. This area was still a bit rough afterwards, and I didn't worry about it because I was just getting lazy at this point. Mum's actually gone over it recently with more polyfill after we've painted it, and repainted and filled out all those dips and stuff. Just vacuuming to make sure I get every piece of dust. And so this is the paint on silicone, so the chalky stuff I'm just using to fill out this crack at the top here. So this corner of the wall has slightly sunk, like just the slightest. You can see like the crack isn't massive, which has made this trim sort of split away from the wall there just a little bit. So I'm just filling it in as best as I can. There's obviously still some gaps there that you can see on camera, which are actually still there now. This guy's been watching me for weeks now, but I have to paint this trim in the ceiling, so sorry, it's time to kick you out. Sorry. Sorry. Not trying to throw you around, buddy. I'm just trying to keep it down. Beautiful. So cool. It's a female, I think, because it's so big. Could be wrong, but usually the thicker ones are, I'm pretty sure it's a huntsman, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a female huntsman. If it was a wolf spider, it'd be a bit bigger, I think. But it's just been chilling for the last few days, last few weeks, months. Almost like been in here like a couple of months, I reckon. Just moving around every day, different spot. Must get a lot of bugs in here or something, because there's no bugs in here, so it's eating them or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna say goodbye and take it outside. It's a bit reluctant to leave, so I'm just going to leave it there. We will leave this spider alone. So yeah, we had a visitor in the bathroom for several weeks. He, she, it was just kind of hanging around, but now we can move on to painting all the trim. starting with the trim and the corners, so then I can go over the whole lot with the roller later on. Shower screen's back in and I'm just installing the final piece, but of course the camera went flat, so here's a clip later. And the second window was also done, so this is jumping ahead by like a week and a half or something. We've also tiled the niches, so just grouting them out, and Jack's come in and put in the shower fixture. So this is days away from the shower being ready to use, which is pretty awesome. So you get like a rubber spatula, I don't know, it's like a rubber, and it squashes all the grout into all the grooves and crevices and stuff. It's not the best job, first time I've ever done shower niches, first time I've done tiling, first time I've done grouting. First time I've done a bathroom reno. Pretty much a lot of firsts in this build, so none of it's perfect. It looks a bit rough, but it certainly works better and looks better than the previous bathroom. Now just sponging off all the excess grout, and then you come back a few hours later and you polish with a dry rag just to remove anything that's sitting on the surface of your tiles, buffs them out, makes them look clean, and then you also put a grout sealer on, which I didn't video. Again, it's just a little bottle of like this glue sort of stuff that'll dry out. You do several coats of that over the grout. So here's the result. You can see I didn't quite cut the plastic to size on one side, so it's just grout smoothed out on an angle, but that's alright. By plastic I mean the splashback. So now just sealing up the shower, silicone all the way around, and then we used white on the base, which is peeling because, I don't know, I messed something up, so I have to redo the white silicone on the inside. Everything else seems to be sticking fine, but something went wrong with this. Maybe I didn't clean the surface properly. Bit of dust or something, I'm not too sure. And here it is a few weeks later, we've done the tiling and the toilet has gone in. So Mum and I did the tiling over a weekend. Never done tiling before. She has, so she sort of like guided a little bit through. We also put this new piece of trim around this entryway for the vanity area. That was also Mum's idea. It removes like some of the shadows from the room and makes it like a nice even looking entrance into that other area. The pipe that was also running along that wall is now gone, and the water, the copper there you can see has been run for the hot and cold tap. And we have a reducer on that old toilet drain as well for the new vanity drain to go into, down to a is it 70 mil or 40 mil, 50 mil? I don't know. Oh yeah, and Darcy came through and put in these power points. So we got new switches, one there, and we also got that 4-gang power supply there where the vacuum's plugged in. The next video should wrap it off. However, I'm currently recovering from an injury, and so far this series has been a weekly upload. That'll probably be delayed for part 4 because I'm resting this injury. I've hurt my shoulder pretty bad and I can't do any straining activities. I was trying to work on the bathroom last week and I got a little bit done, but I couldn't get much done each day without being in pain. So part 4 is going to be delayed probably 2-3 weeks. There's still work to be done. Pretty sure part 4 is just going to be completing the vanity area and capping off most of the finishes for the bathroom. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the series so far. If you have, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment on any feedback, because I'm not a qualified profession and I've probably cut a lot of corners or done stuff wrong, so let me know. If you haven't seen the other 2 parts, like I said at the start of the video, go check them out, and yeah, have a good one. Thanks for watching.